Say hello to a 2020 Toyota Yaris. Not the Toyota Yaris Cross. This is the regular sedan, but the hatchback version. Now, the thing with this particular unit is that this is a base level unit, and that's good because if you are a new driver or you want a vehicle that is just going to take you from point A to point B with safety features, I think this might be the best option for you all. So let's take a look at it. The 2020 Toyota Yaris hatchback. Now, it must be noted that the Toyota Yaris has never been an attractive vehicle. All of them were ugly from the first one come right up. But this one is slightly different. It's slightly less ugly, and that's because there's a racing version to it. So every time I see this particular one, I am seeing the underpinnings of the racing version. You know, like when you see a Lancer, to the average person, they just see a Lancer. But to car guys and those who know about the evolution, the low-key see evolution, it's the same thing here. I am seeing the racing underpinnings, and some of it carries through. It's minimal. For example, you have some carbon fiber on the front bumper here, and then over the headlights on either side, you have a bit of a carbon fiber finish. Now, it's not full-on racing like the sports version to it, but when you look at it, you can tell, yeah, it has potential. Sticking with the headlights and also sticking with the minimalistic approach that Toyota went for here, you have projector bulbs, no LEDs, no sequential turn signals, it just flashes. This is very good. Something goes wrong, you swap the bulbs out easily. For the front and rear tires, you have 14-inch wheels, 75, 70, 14s to be exact, which again is going to be easier on your pocket because a 14-inch tire, depending on how deep south you go, like 395, 425, 450 versus being a first-time driver or something and buying another vehicle where the tires like 6 something per tire, 7 something per tire, brand new that is. So it's an economical vehicle even in that regard. Stepping around back, nothing too fancy going on here. You have your shark fin antenna, rear wiper nozzle, rear wiper. You have this gloss black finish running the width of the back of the vehicle, your lighting assembly. Shockingly, there's no reverse camera on this unit. Now, a reverse camera is something you can put in aftermarket, no problem, but it's still shocking to see a vehicle that doesn't have it in 2024. But again, remember, this is the base model, minimalistic, less things to go wrong. But I know what you all are thinking. I could never drive a Toyota Yaris, especially the hatchback. It's a small vehicle. I won't be caught dead in a vehicle this size. So what if I told you all that the Yaris and the Nissan Note are the exact same size in terms of exterior dimensions? Will you believe me? Because nose to nose, tail to tail, wheel to wheel, exterior wise, they are the same size. And this is where styling plays a huge role in how we perceive vehicles. Because what is happening here, the Nissan Note has a more low aggressive look to it, so it looks longer than it actually is. While the Toyota Yaris has a more playful, bubbly look to it. So when you look at it, it looks smaller than it actually is. But when you look at them side by side, the exterior dimensions are almost 1-to-1. So it's not a case of which vehicle is bigger on the outside. It's a case of which vehicle you prefer the styling of, because in terms of size, both of them are the same. The interior layout might be slightly different. One might have slightly more room than the other, but exterior wise, nose to nose, tail to tail, they are the same size. Stepping into the boot space of a Toyota Yaris, with the rear seats folded up, you have a total of 286 liters. With them folded down, you have 768 liters. None of these numbers are groundbreaking, and it's even slightly smaller, just a tad, than the Nissan Note. But like I said, same exterior dimensions, but they manage space internally different. Keep that in mind. You don't get a spare tire because this is a hybrid vehicle, and most hybrid vehicles, except the large ones, do not come with spare tires. You have a tire repair kit, which consists of a tire repair kit itself, an inflator, your tow hook, and your tools. Stepping into the rear, this is what your rear legroom looks like. I am 5'7", 5'8" on a very good day, and this is what it looks like with the base pushed all the way back and the back part slightly reclined. I am fitting here, no issue, but if you have to fit somebody who is slightly taller, let's say 5'10", 5'11", you will need to push the front seats forward. You do get a dome light. It's not LEDs, but you can swap that out after if you really want the LED. Stepping into the front, again, minimalistic design made to last. You don't get much soft touch materials. For example, the entire top part, hard plastic. In the middle here, you have a type of furrish, it's not quite suede, but it's a kind of furrish material. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's definitely not all hard plastic in the middle there. It's like maybe a thin layer of material over the plastic. But you can tell everything is made to be durable. If you have children, you don't now have to worry about the materials ripping up over time or the throwing down milk on it. It's just there to last a very long time. Even in dash, It's not too hard of a plastic on top, but it's still hard plastic to the touch, which means it's going to be more durable than if they had put soft touch materials there. But this vehicle isn't going for that premium, that ultra premium feel. It's going for the durability, long-lasting feel. No push-button start, turnkey, but remember, we are going for things that are not going to give you problems 2 years, 4 years, 10 years down the road. Every time you turn the key in a Toyota, you guarantee the car is going to start. To the right of the steering wheel, you have 2 buttons. The one below is your auto high beam. Above that, you have a roll style dial. What this does, it angles the headlight. So if you have a lot of load in the back, or maybe plenty people in the back, the front of the car will tend to pitch up. So you can now roll that wheel and turn the headlights back down to angle it to the road rather than blinding oncoming drivers. To the bottom of that, you have your bonnet release, and to the left of that, we don't really concern about that. That's like a payment system for toll roads over in Japan. In the center here, you will find your usual climate controls, fan speed, temperature, opening vent, changing airflow direction. You have a single forward USB outlet and a single forward facing power outlet down in the middle there. Here you have your gear shifter, and you have a few buttons down by the handbrake. The first one on top is what you will press if you want to select your drive mode, sport or eco. The center one, traction control on or off, and then you have your EV mode if you want the vehicle to be in EV mode for an extended period of time. One thing to note, you do not have a center console area. You have 2 cup holders and a pocket to the rear, but no center console pocket area, which we normally use as an armrest. So keep that in mind, no armrest in the center there. You do get a small pocket on top underneath your infotainment, so you can put your phone or wallet or anything you can have that can fit there. And to the left of that, you have another pocket area, which again you can put your phone or a wallet or anything. And then below that, you have another small pocket that your phone can fit in, or maybe a purse or your wallet, and it's close to the USB as well. So if you're streaming music via the USB, everything is right there. On the left, you have a glove box. It isn't that big, but most manufacturers are not making big glove boxes anymore. You do have your sunshade, no vanity mirror, no illumination, but it does come with a built-in dash cam, which didn't come with the memory card. So once the car is on, you have this annoying beep, beep, beep. But thankfully, once you put a memory card in it, that beeping will stop and you'll be in business. Up here, you have your map lights. Again, not LEDs, but you can always swap them out for LEDs after the fact. Now, you know I must point this out. One touch up down on all the glass. I love seeing this in every vehicle. And you also do get power folding mirrors left and right, as obvious. When you lock the vehicle with closing, unlock the vehicle, it will open out, or you can press the button and it will open and close depending if you want it to open or close. You also do get a multifunction steering wheel. You have all your typical controls, navigation controls, your safety features button, everything that modern steering wheels come with, you have it there. And then behind that, you have your instrument cluster, analog gauges left and right with a small color screen in the center. On the left, you have, which will normally be a RPM gauge, but because this is a hybrid, no RPM gauge. This will show you if you are driving economically, if you're using plenty power, or if you are in regen. Below that, you have your temperature gauge. Center, you have your screen, and to the right of that, your speed and your fuel gauge. Lastly, for the interior, you have your infotainment screen. Nothing too fancy going on here. You don't have any 360 camera, any flashy camera stitching taking place. You have something that is simple and functional. You have Bluetooth, AM, FM. You can stream music via the USB cord and some other settings, but that's really about it. Very functional, very to the point. But now, let's take a 2020 Toyota Yaris Hybrid out on the road and see how it drives. Now, if you were to look at the Yaris on paper, it has no performance. It's powered by a small 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine that pushes out only 115 horsepower. Plus, it sounds like a lawnmower when just idling. That is just the sound characteristic of most 3-cylinder engines. Most of them have that kind of rough sound to them when you listen to them when they're just idling. But only 116 horsepower can hear you crying. True, 116 isn't a lot, but when you consider that the Toyota Yaris is only 2,200 pounds, plus you have that hybrid component fitted to it, it doesn't take a lot of power to get this light small vehicle up to speed. It's a very peppy car. Now, this is not to say it's a sports car. It's not trying to be a sports car. The pep that it has is a byproduct of how light it is and the hybrid component giving you that instant boost off the line. It's not trying to be a sports car. In fact, everything about this car is about fuel economy. It's small and compact. It only has 3 cylinders and you have that hybrid component. But all of those things mixed together, the byproduct of that is a peppy car when you get on the accelerator pedal. And it's only when you are driving small vehicles like these you get to understand that no amount of trickery could hide the laws of physics for long. It just can't. You drive bigger vehicles, they may have pneumatic suspensions, they have all kind of fancy things to keep the vehicle level in the turns, but you cannot hide the fact that it's a heavy vehicle. Not the case here. It's a small, light vehicle. You turn in and you are literally feeling the front turning in like a go-kart. That hybrid component with the electric motor are behind their working magic because it doesn't take much to break traction. But aside from the driving dynamics, you also do get some safety features like lane keeper assist. Your hands are off the steering wheel for whatever reason, or you're drifting and you can see the steering wheel turning there to keep the car in lane. If this is off and you just put it into passive mode, it will beep to let you know you are drifting out of lane. So you have on passive mode, or it will take control and turn the steering. Now it's almost a cliche to say that this car has the best suspension or that car has the best suspension. So how do you visualize that? Well, the GoPro is mounted to the side of the vehicle. The GoPro has built-in stabilization, which means it will stabilize up to a certain degree. So the car, if the car shakes, you will see the GoPro stay stationary, but you should see the car move independent in frame. Watch the front wheel so they soak up bumps, and then watch the body of the car. Watch the GoPro, watch the body of the car, and compare the movement, and you would realize that the car is actually soaking up bumps pretty well. If you realize when the car turns left and right, you are seeing the vehicle turning in frame, not the camera, because it's also soaking up the turns. You should see the same thing if the car is bouncing up or down excessively. But you are seeing the wheels soaking up the bumps, but you're not seeing the car itself moving up and down within frame. So the suspension is doing its job. So when I say a vehicle is riding smooth, I'm not just talking, I'm showing it as well. Now, if you go into a hole that's large enough or a bump that's large enough, obviously suspension has a limit. I'm not saying it's a ride. I'm simply saying that it's a smooth ride. So in an age where vehicles are getting more complex, more sensors, more costly to maintain, more things to go wrong, if you are looking for a vehicle that is going to give you minimal problems for years to come, but also have a bit of fun while driving, I think something like the Yaris is good for you.